Welcome back to Some Crypto. In today's video, we're just going to talk about XRP and then where do I think the current price of XRP is heading to, at least for the short term. Uh, as you can see, this is a weekly chart. The weekly chart looks pretty good from XRP. I'm still expecting a move to the upside right around this area of say this area of 58 to 75 cents, right? So on a Polynex, the high was like a 75 cents, but I think on Binance it was like 80 cents. So that's why it's a big difference. But I'm expecting at least XRP in upcoming weeks to close this gap, go back to retest this area of 75 to 85 cents, right? Maybe even like break the previous high of 80 cents, right? So if you go to a Binance, right? Let's go back to Binance. As you can see on this chart, right? I mentioned it. This is the weekly chart, right? We got this big sell-off, right? And then we got this ABC correction, another three-way to the downside, and I'm expecting another three-way to the upside, right? So this is my long-term view from XRP, and then it's better to look at the weekly chart because it's too much noise when you look at like the 4-hour and 2-hour charts, stuff like that. It's too much noise. But once you take a look at the weekly chart, everything is pretty much clear, right? It's not time to sell XRP at the moment, right? So it's basically time to accumulate. We're most likely going to get this big pump right here, this big candle. You see this weekly candle all the way up to 80 cents. We're most likely going to get another correction to the upside. So if I want to simplify this, it's just basically a ABC correction, and then we got another ABC to the downside, A, B, C, and then we got another. We're looking for another ABC correction to the upside, right? So this is my long-term view from a medium-term view from XRP to 75 cents before we come back retest this area of maybe come back, make a flag and retest this area of 28 cents before the end of the bear market, right? So basically we test this area before we take off, right? So this is just my short-term view, medium-term view from XRP, but the short-term view is just to accumulate. Let's go to the daily time frame. When you take a look at the daily time frame, we're basically making the same type of move, right? I mentioned it on my previous videos. If you take a look at these, this head and shoulder, right? So they're pretty identical, right? So right. So basically, what you got two head and shoulders. You got a head and shoulder, right? And both of these left and right shoulder are pretty much identical, and then the head is basically a bigger version of these shoulders. So it's not pretty. It's pretty redundant if you take a look at it. Even like this end right here is another version of this small right shoulder, right? So you have to go to the 4-hour chart to be able to see that, right? But this end right here is basically another version of this one. So the reason why I'm thinking like XRP is ready to take off, and then it's just time to accumulate. This is just a small correction, and then most likely if we do not break this area of 25 to 28 cents, most likely going to take off to 85 cents, right? But for the bearish scenario, let's say we break this area of 25 cents. My next target from XRP is right at 10 cents right here. Next target from XRP is right around this area of a 1-to-1 extension from the right shoulder. So this is my next target if we break this area. So right around 10 cents to 11 cents, right? So just keep that in mind, right? So you can put your stop loss not too close. I mean, I'm going to put my stop loss not too close from this area of baseline. Let's say 22 to 23, right? So, but I'm just going to be waiting for for the candle to close below 22 cents to 23 cents. If that's the case, we most likely gonna head to 10 cents. But we could be getting like a big rejection from this area of 23 cents, right? And then before we take off, so that's also possible. So just keep it in mind, right? So we could also, be heading lower. But with 80% probability, we're most likely gonna go to 75 cents before we, break below this area of 28 cents, if we ever gonna break it again. So that's my short-term and medium-term view from XRP. If you like the content, let me know what you think down below. If you think like XRP gonna hit 75 cents before we hit before we break this strong support. So all right, thank you for watching.